Okay. Am I back? It seemed like my stream was gone. Crap. Everybody gone. I fell off, right? Okay, let's try again. So do you guys hear this audio on the left or on the right? Good. Okay, that's working. So now at least we already know that we can position the audio to the left or to the right. Now what I want to try first is that if I walk closer to it, I will get softer audio, louder audio basically, because the audio should be pretty far away, right? If you hear it now. Not 100% sure if it sounds far away, but it should become louder when you get closer. So we can test that pretty easily, right? So instead of -1, of course, I go to the 1. That was the full audio. So let me check that one more time, and then we go to 0.5 to see the difference. So here we go. Again, for me, the audio is now gone. For some reason, when I go 1, I don't hear anything. You guys do, so that's good. Oh, that's a good idea. I will do that. Yeah. This is full audio. So what I want to do now is change this 1 to a 0.5 F. Now I want to hear from you guys if that audio is going to be louder or not. Because it should be. Because we're getting closer to it. Here we go. You think so, right? Okay, let's put it again to 0.1. So it should be even more loud. And 0 actually is in the center, so that should be... Okay, you put on your headphones. If you can do that, that would be awesome. Then I'll just start again from the beginning. You hear them both? Okay. That's kind of weird, but maybe that's because of a different reason. I tested something before, or looked at something before, and they said like 1 is really right, -1 is really left, and everything in between becomes less loud. Okay, so let's start first with 1 unexpected. Then you get it should be the furthest away and should really sound far from the right. Thank you for being so cool that you have your headphones on for that. There we go. For me, this sounds not at all. But if I look at the Unity audio output, I see that it's a little less heavy than it is when it is. Okay? Right. Remember that. Let's start now with 0.5. Should be at least closer. There we go. Takes a moment to reload. Here we go. 0.5, I hear it as well, otherwise it doesn't. Okay, then now we do it at 0, and it should be exactly in the center. There we go. Now it should be exactly in the center. Now you should hear as much on the left as you hear it on the right. Okay, is there also any change in volume for you guys? Does it feel when it's on one, does it feel louder or less loud? I mean, because one should be far away. So for the feeling of that, it should sound like it's less loud because it's further away. And as soon as you go with a lower number, the first one was less loud. Okay, that's cool. So that means that one is far away. What I probably will also want to do a little bit with this, almost the same. Yeah, okay. So what I probably will also want to do a little bit is that I change also the volume. So I help a little bit with that. So probably will become like a sliding thing that just gets a little louder when you get to the center and a little less loud when you go further away. So let me check that a little bit. We can do that a little. Keep your headphones on, please, if you want unexpected. But you're very. It's invaluable, I can tell you. So let's say this is one. That means it's full volume. What I want is that it's less. So let's go for 0.3 F. So I want it to be loading. Okay, there we go. Here we go again. Should be a lot less loud right now. From what I can see of the slider of Unity Audio, it is a lot less loud. Far away. Cool. Okay. Now that we know that, let's put the pan stereo to 0.5 again. We're going to go a little bit more to the middle. I want to upgrade the volume to 0.6 and see what it does. Here we are. Get ready. A bit louder. Sounds good. Okay. Okay, that is a good sign. We're having what we want. So this should mean that at volume one, we're at 0. Well, I don't think I need to test that, but for just for reference, we want to know that it really sounds a lot louder because that should be full volume, like we heard before. So here we go. Sounds great. So that seems to work pretty fine. So now I need to figure out how to do that when I'm moving. So I will have to write the script so that whenever I move and I get closer to the bridge, we're gonna up the volume and lower the pan stereo. It's gonna be a challenge, quite a challenge actually. Uh, so that is the trigger, but we have a trigger, and maybe we should do. I'm kind of wondering if I should make the trigger for the entire width of the path. Or should I not? Because now we're doing the drawbridge, we do only the trigger, which is, I guess, kind of okay, right? We don't need to have, if you listen to 3D games. Yes, in 3D games, it does have that. There's an option right here. Where is it? On the drawbridge, here. You have an option called spatial blend with 2D and 3D, but if I move this, then it's going to go wrong. With 3D sound settings, you have that. I think you can have the distance where you play with that. That's what I saw at least. It's called, I don't think the spatial blend for me is going to be 3D because then it's going to go wrong. So I don't think I can do that, to be honest. But it's what I'm looking at right now, right? So because I don't know everything either, I'm going to have to look this up myself. Let me open my browser here, which opens by default on another tab, but I'm going to let you guys enjoy this with me. Here we go. So, how to use positional audio in Unity 2D. Yeah, I'm not going to watch a video. I don't like that. 3D sound in 2D games. Yeah, using 3D sound doesn't seem to work, right? 2D audio, roll off and max distance not working. Spatial blend is set to 3D, yeah. Okay, maybe this one. I don't know if it works in 2D, but it's a good option to make the effect to be near or far, yeah. I don't hear sound at all. Is it not working for 2D? It's the audio. Is the audio listener in your scene attached to the player or the camera? By default, the distance depends on how far your camera is away from the audio source. Game, I suspect the camera staying at its position or at least moving always at a fixed distance to the action plane. It doesn't help. I removed audio listener for camera and added to player, but I can still hear music off the distance. This has been further, but now it works. Thank you. What? I think you could change that by removing the audio listener from the camera and rather attach one to your player object. That could actually work. I think that's the thing that we want. It doesn't have to do anything with camera in this case, and an audio listener, I think by default, is indeed on the camera. So let me see if that's true. There you go. Here's an audio listener, and you can only have one. So what if I put the audio listener on Gaia instead? Where is it there? It's not going to give me an error, but let me remove this one. Okay. So then I have this, and I should, in the audio source, what do I do? What did they say? The spatial blend to 3D? Spatial blend enabled, or just in the code? Spatial blend is 1. Let's see. Then in this case, I should not want to do this. Oh. But we still, because if that works, that will make it a lot easier. I will not have to play at all with the volume or the stereo pan. That should always be like center in this case then. Not anything that it does. So, here we go. Let's see what happens. Can any of you tell me if that changed anything? So you can hear if it's left or right or not. Okay, we'll do it again. Oop. Let's do this again. Here we go. Ready? Now, my trick question is, did it also have the audio coming from the left when it passed the bridge, or doesn't it? Because that's the most important part. It should really, okay. You don't think so? Because I think I saw it, it's stuck to the right. So let's go. Here we go. Start, right, right? Okay, we're getting closer. Cool. Cool. Okay, so that works. We might still want to do something about that. I don't know if I want to amplify something. Maybe I want to make it louder at some certain point. But if this works properly, then basically what we have to do is just keep the audio on Gaia, and then all the sounds will always be positional to her. So that is great, because that way we can always just make sure that people hear it from the correct side. Um, and then we can do other things as well. So, for example, if we want to have a box right here or whatever that she needs to interact with, then when I get close enough to it, I can do something similar with the trigger and let her know that, hey, there's something you need to pick up here. And then this will work. What I'm kind of wondering about is what will happen with dialogue if it gets spoken, everything. I guess that means that all the audio sources for Gaia will be there. So this is a very cool trick. We've been already we got already pretty far. I'm pretty happy with this. What I'm not happy with is that my drawbridge is not opening anymore. So we're gonna have to figure out what happens there. Because we do so put the audio source, and we do say that it should open the bridge, and before that worked perfectly fine. I did change stuff. So let me go a little back. When I was playing around with this, I think I can put back in any second. I had the Euler angles around it. It's fixed up the, that's why it doesn't work. No, doesn't, that's not why it doesn't work. I think it's best to use animations. Yeah, I'm sure it's best to use animations, but then I have a lot of control that I'm missing, and still not sure if that's going to actually do what I want it to do, AZ. I would love to. I'm not sure if I can. But I don't know a lot of things, and I figure them out every time anyway. But this is not wrong, so this should not be the issue for why it's not opening anymore. Anyway, this we don't need, so we can leave this out right now. So what is happening that makes this not open anymore? Because that is something I would not expect. This fixed update did. With that, we get it, right? So let me put this back so it will not have to be triggered. Because the only thing wait up. No, I set the arms, right? I didn't set those arms first, but now I have them. But what might be an issue is that I have somewhere maybe still Animations can help to make the animation of open and closing more easily. Also, fading between two animations will make the effect to open close better. Also, all is dynamic. True. That is true. And I'm sure that might be the best option, but what I was wondering about is how on earth am I going to do all those different parts and I can walk on one part but not on the other? I guess I can do all of it. I'm wondering, I might be able to do all of that with a polygon collider, but that is so much unsure for me. So, like the polygon collider that I have on the ground here, I could do the polygon collider for this entire thing and then make this a polygon collider and maybe have a second polygon collider. I don't know if you can do that to just be on this side of the bridge. But anyway, even then, that animation will take me ages to do. Yeah. That they move with the animation, that I believe, but I'd still have to make them properly. I don't know if you can make two polygon colliders in the same object. I've never seen that done, but maybe you can. If that is possible, then I should go back to my drawbridge in Sprite and put everything back together again and just make it animate. But me and animation, Jesus, you're asking me a lot. That is like, I don't know how many frames that will be to make this properly. Should trigger the animation, but that is not so hard. The hardest part for me really is not the animation. Well, is going to be the animation because there's so many things at the same time to animate that is going to be that's professional stuff, man. I'm not a professional animator. I thought I could make it easier on myself because I can program stuff. My wife is needing something, so somebody was watching me from my work. Actually, that's pretty cool. Unity have an integrated animation system called Animation. Yeah, you mean this part, right? Window, animation, this one. But for that to do all this stuff, I still need to animate all of it in A-Sprite first, right? I cannot just say just animate this all and do it. Still have to move everything, and that I know how the animator sort of works. I'm not an expert, let's say, but if I go to window animation here, and I would say animation, then I can see for Gaia we have several animations there, well, two at least. So you have the idle, the jump, and the run, which jump doesn't work yet because I don't have the animation for it yet, but run, yes, I have it. So if I just press play now, you can see Gaia start running, right? So I know that this is there. I know that this works, but I just do not know how I'm gonna do that with all of the other things. You can, for example, rotate 90 degrees apart, and Unity will make this fade between the initial state and the final state. Okay, I'm gonna have to look into that. So that would mean I don't need many scripts anymore. I might not have to. Might have to do a lot of things different. Everything is moved, by the way. Not happy with this. Everything has moved. Much, but just enough to make it look terrible. Um, so the left pillar is that one. It's also moved more or less there. Still not good. There we go. Perfectly in place now. Um, yeah, so I agree that might probably be the best way to do it. So I'm gonna have to look into that. So it's also not too high. Or no, almost. Should have made that somehow snap to each other. So what you would say in this case, AZ, is that what I should probably do is not try to script the movement of this thing, but just move it, but and it will also, of course, keep all the physics applied. So if I rotate this thing and this chain is in between it, it will just keep the chain in between, right? And nobody said that to me like 7 streams ago. Anyway, I suck at it anyway. I am. It's not your fault or anything, but I wish I would have known stuff like that earlier. On the other hand, hey, you guys learn with me, so that's also interesting, right? But still, that's going to make a lot of changes for me to do. It's not something you can just do in a few minutes, right? Oh, by the way, I upgraded the version of Unity and it has some cool things. You can actually see an outline for all of your objects. So, for example, the clouds now have an outline, the same as this sky. You can see the outline of the entire object, which I kind of like. It's kind of easier to see where your objects are than before. So drawbridge, also you see all the parts that are belonging to my drawbridge. And before I don't think I saw this. So I'm pretty happy with that. Kind of wondering though if I do all of those things, how that is gonna do it. Hmm. Well, it's something that I don't think we should put too much effort into right now, right? We know we might have to rework this entire drawbridge and use the animation system and the physics that like it is right now. So things that are steady should stay steady, but other things might become an animation instead, and the animation can maybe be done recording it from Unity, right? Because as far as I understand you, uh, I might not. You never know with me. Is that I would say to the left ground moving or to the drawbridge, I put an animation on the drawbridge. And then on the drawbridge, I would say, for example, open bridge as an animation. And then I would change between different frames and have left ground moving and where's the one? Left arm. Yeah, left arm to move a certain degree, like up to a certain point. So rotate them around the center point and rotate them up. That means I can turn a lot of script off, so this stuff shouldn't have to be there. Well, at the moment it isn't working, so I might actually try that without breaking anything. Let's see if it still isn't working, because maybe it's working now. It's actually working now. Well, the top part is. The bottom part is not moving. Huh. Something else is doing something weird. Ah, I see what I did there. Ha! You guys saw it? I put the wrong thing. So the names are not correct. So left ground is not supposed to be the left ground, but the left ground moving. There we go. You know, just by figuring out what we were doing, we fixed it. There you go. Works again. Thanks for letting me think about the animation system. I fixed the problem with that. Kind of happy with that. Thank you. So now, basically, well, I can still look into it, of course, and then I turn this stuff off, at least for the left. Let me do that for now, and then try to make the same thing in an animation, which is gonna be a little complicated. I'm not sure how easy I can do it, but I'll try. I'm not the greatest at animating, so let's make that animation. We have the drawbridge selected to begin creating. Create an animation clip. So let's go to animations. Let's make a new folder here. Drawbridge. And this is just going to be an experiment because I have no clue if I do this correctly. Drawbridge. Open. Right? So we have it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to record, I think. Then I have to have the arm and the left ground and rotate them together. The initial point is always my hardest thing, but let me see. Can I put this like initial like that? No, that doesn't work. If I do it like that, does that work? No. Should work, right? Okay, let me try this. Maybe with recording. Right to initial position. Okay. So left arm position 0.735. 0.735 minus 2.6. So that is correct. Same with, where are you? Left ground. 1.38 minus 4.225. 5. Here we go. So that is my initial position. Then I go to, I don't know how long this will take, like quite a while. So I would have to go drag this, like, no, here maybe, add a keyframe, add key, there, just to check. And then in this keyframe, I will set the left arm. I have to rotate this, but I can move that by the rotation tool, I think. So let's put it like, oh, that's not rotating from where I want it to. Require a lot of changing. Oh, this is not hard. Move the bar to the second thing you want. There. I'm learning. I'm learning. I don't use this a lot, so. Maybe I should have that script run, and then I can check the second position, because now I don't know. But I can try. Let me try. Rotate. Far. There. A little down. Something like this should be. Okay, now we go to the left round moving. Rotate. Can I check the angle from the other one? I should be able to, right? And rotation, that. There we go. So we do the same for this one, rotation, that. And then we should be, which should be right about there. But I don't know if this actually will keep the rest attached, but let's see if this works. I'm kind of curious. Well, this works, but it goes a little fast, of course. So we have to at least move this pretty much further. Actually, the physics keep working. That's good. That's good. We don't see that in the preview, but it does work. And it's still too fast. So I'm gonna have to move this. Stop recording. I think it stopped recording on its own. It's not recording at the moment, so just to see it. Yeah, I think that's something of the newer versions of Unity. I just switched to Unity 2022.3.4, which is the latest LTS, and a lot of things have changed in this one, but all for the better, I must add. Still find this to go too fast. Of course, I don't want it to end in just a few seconds. So let's put it like 4. Not 401, 4. Let's try. Still probably too fast. Okay, so I will put this probably. I'm gonna try and see what it does with 8 and see if I like it better. Yeah, that's more logical. I don't want it to go super fast. And I might want to up, rotate it up a little bit more to make the jump a little bit more challenging, but yeah, not sure yet. Anyway, and I'm gonna later also put a second audio source in this, because what I want, and that is something you see a lot in bridges in the Netherlands, especially these kind of bridges, that there's first like a bell, like a very loud bell that signifies this bridge is gonna open. And after that, you usually have those. Well, I don't know how to call this slagboom in the Netherlands. I don't know how you call them in English, and they will close, and then the bridge will open. So that usually takes time. I'm not sure if I'm going to actually do that, but that might be something to look into. But at least I want the sound of the bell just a little bit before actually playing the other sound. So this is going to be something that we're going to add also to the drawbridge, another sound to actually play. So that means we have actually going to have 2 audio sources. So that might be a bit harder. That means we have to select them and we cannot just set them on the wake because we don't know which one will play otherwise. Anyway, thank you for this trick, AZ, and I'm actually pretty happy with how fast we got this working. It does indeed also keep my physics going, at least from what I see. So let me see. Let me save this for a second. pretty good, except for what happened just now. I don't know what that was. I have to start again. I don't know what I just saw. That make me a little bit weird. Slow a barrier. Okay, that's a pretty standard name for that. And there's still something wrong here. I have a collider that I don't know anything about. What the heck is that? Ah, it keeps repeating. Obviously, that is the stupid thing with animations. I keep forgetting about that. I have to go to the animator for that. Animation animator. We're on the drawbridge. So we have a drawbridge open, and I do not want to loop that one. Where's the option to loop it? Animation itself, right? So drawbridge open. You can change that going where the animation is and disabling loop option. Yeah, but drawbridge open, speed one motion. I'm expecting that to be here somewhere, but I don't see it. Maybe in the end here then. No, that's scripts. Animations, drawbridge open, loop. There we go. That should do it. Okay. It's just like bang, it's closing again. There we go. It's good. The other one is much slower, by the way. And at the moment out of whack, but that's a different thing. And it opens further. Well, actually, it keeps rotating because now I don't have an edge to stop for. Okay. Well, this is pretty okay. I think I'm going to open it further than it is right now, but that is something I can do later. Not really thinking that I should have to do that right now. That's not so important because we were thinking about the positional audio. We already did that, and also I had as a subject, at least in the Discord event that I made, I also said something that I wanted to have a look at dialogue system. And for that, I will switch scenes a little bit, but not before I check all this stuff in. Git commit, edit animation for the bridge. And what else did I do here? Nothing, right? Make them work in the same animation. Yeah, yeah, of course. I know. I will have to do both parts. So I will have to start with the first frame, do the same with the other one, move it again, and then make sure that they're in unison with each other, which is still something that I will do another moment. I don't think I have to do that right now. I know how to do it now. That's very, very good, and I'm very happy with that. Oh, sorry about that. And now I can do that any moment when I have some time. So let's put this in. And I'm really happy with that. That makes it a lot easier probably to do this in the end. Still think that that makes the chain in a pretty easy way with the animation that I had. Actually think that I might have to replace this long one with maybe a solid bar. Not sure if that can work, but I'm gonna have to check. And still can use the physics system, so that's pretty cool. Um, yeah, that is something that is not super important right now, but we can use it later. So yeah, pretty happy with this. We have a good progress today. Audio is working. We know it's positional. We can do this. So now what I'm gonna do is gonna start and go towards the another scene, like I said. I just saved this, so that's no problem. And I had one, it's called, I think, the prototyping level. where everything seems to be messed up right now. Ah, there we go. Because all I see right now is my interface. I don't know why that is. All my sprites are gone, I guess. There. Ah, I have no global light, I guess. Maybe there's no global light. I see it in the main camera. That's weird. Virtual camera or something. Something is not showing this. Let me see what. I'm standing in the dark. The virtual camera is not working or something. I don't know. A bounding shape is required. Why am I not seeing this? Let me see what happens if I play. Trying to run there, but everything there is black and white. That's a shame. I haven't looked at this scene for too long. So my dialect system that is in there probably is completely messed up and everything else is also. Um, Let me see what I have here. Let me see. The input manager actions is still Gaia. Camera is none. Well, that will not work. Still nothing. Maybe it should be the virtual camera instead. No, should not. Oh, yeah, very good. Thank you. I will hydrate. Anyway, what you can see here already a little bit is that I have a dialog manager panel with something coming from Inky. And Inky is a dialog manager that you can actually use in a pretty easy way. So let me see where I put all the Inky files because I had them. Dialog here. There you go. And I think I started with intro level. But I don't have Inkly anymore because this is a new laptop. So let me see. Where's my Inkly editor? Inkly editor or Inky editor? Inky editor. Where you go? Ink. I think I have it, but this is basically what that looks like, and you can have pretty complex narrating scripts for your game. Um, So if you see, for example, this basic tutorial is pretty complete beginners, but you get a script like this, and it will just say London 1872, residence, blah, 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 end of story. So when you play this, you can have this in a dialogue script. So if you go a little further, you can have more stuff happening. And you can have it like it clicks through, you can have knots in between, so you can diverts, you can have choices, and all this stuff is really pretty easy to set up. Look, you can just read this. It's pretty easy. So I have my Inky files, but I need the Inky editor. So let's see why I don't have that, because I thought I did. Download. Thought I already downloaded this. Must not have. Okay, so let me download this. Takes a few seconds because it's 134 megabytes. It's not something you do in 2 seconds. Well, depends on your network, of course. If you have a super fast 10 gigabytes, I don't know, then you can do this in seconds, but I can't. But I really thought I already downloaded this, so kind of confused why it's not there. Let me check. I did. I just didn't install it. That could be. No, I did not. I seriously did not. Well, it's on its way. Thanks for you guys hanging in there. I know I'm not the most knowledgeable of everyone, but we're the figuring things out as we go along crew. So we kind of do everything perfect at once, right? That would not be working like the getting things as we go. So here we go, extracting. We're figuring it out. Yes, we are. And not just a little bit. Let me see. I need to install that most likely. This is the application. Run anyway. Says it's not safe. Here it is. There we go. So, installed anything, did it? Okay, maybe I should check in Unity if I also need to install it here. I'll remember that from the last time. It's been a little bit too long since I used this. Not in project, but in Unity. Ink. No results. Then I check it online because I know I had the support for that. Ink editor in Unity. Unity integration. Oh, it's an asset store thing. Okay. That makes sense. Whoop whoop. Open in Unity. Unity editor open. There we go. Let's download this. I already know this, so I know this is working pretty nice. So from ink. So this is what I had. I did import, right? It's done. So we have this Gaia, and then there was something with rebuilds. How do you do rebuilds? Same with this one, but this is there. That is also there. Okay. So let's see, because I had some script on it, but now of course I cannot get it to work because I'm not seeing anything in the world. Okay, don't know exactly what went wrong with this level, but I think I can replicate it in the other level. So what I need is my dialog manager. And in my dialog manager, I have a panel, a dialog panel, dialog text, dialog display name for the text. Later. For that, you can go further. So you have choices B, whatever, all that stuff. That's all the good stuff. So for example, I have my dialog manager. I can open it right here. See that these are the things that I need, and my story is not here because it doesn't know my ink runtime. So how do I fix that? The runtime. Why doesn't it have your runtime? Should have it. That'll definitely not work if it doesn't know the runtime, but that is not helping. Let's put it like that. Because I have a dialog manager, but I will not be able to use it. There's an error in there. So that's why it doesn't know the story. And for that, I might have to see if I can score. No, I don't want this. Not score, it's story, really. Ink runtime. Why don't I have the ink runtime? Okay, let's see. Maybe there's a problem with that. Using ink runtime. Give error. Not found. Sometimes the fix is as simple as doing assets open. The biggest config and other crafty low value high hassle files that Visual Studio tends to slowly damage over time. Uh-huh. Visual Studio editor is outdated. That could be. Let me check. In project, Visual Studio, editor. Nothing outdated here. Maybe here sometimes, but nothing is outdated, so that is not the issue. Funny because it does load the script and it doesn't say any errors except for the flying enemy, which I do not have errors. So usually that would mean that there's actually nothing really wrong. So let me see the console. No, I have no errors at all. Okay. Yeah, this kind of part is nice. Now we're gonna have to figure out what the heck is wrong here, and why am I not seeing this, and why is this ink runtime saying that it doesn't exist? That's also something that we need to figure out. So what I can do, and probably I should do, is I go back to the scene that I was actually using. I will have to create a canvas, and maybe I can actually make a prefab out of this. Uh, thing. Let me do that. Create a folder for that. Canvas. Canvas. Oh, canvas. Type flu. And let's put this dialog manager in. There we go. In the canvas. There we go. Now it's a prefab. Which makes it a little easier because now I just switch to my other scene. Where is it? There. Spielerij. That was the scene I was working on. We have managers. We have a canvas. It's actually there already. That I didn't know. But the canvas here is empty. So in this canvas, I have a text field. I don't know what the heck is in there. The canvas is huge. Oh, I know that. I know what it is. That was a reference to when we had 500 followers. Sorry, guys. This is an old thing. So what I'm going to do now, from my prefabs, I'm gonna get my dialog. Oh, dialog manager is also my canvas. Makes no sense, does it? I think I must have imported or put the wrong thing there. Let me check. I'm going to just destroy this one and go back to where I was. Sometimes you do the wrong thing, right? Prototyping level. I have my canvas. I have my dialog panel. I didn't check that, I guess. Must have been doing the wrong thing here. So this one I want to put in there. There you go. That's my dialog panel. Okay, let's save this and go back again to the other scene. Spielerij, here we go. And we have our canvas. Now we want our dialog panel to go boom in the canvas. There we go. Prefab instance problem. Missing prefab asset dialog manager. Okay. I don't think this is from this scene, but let me check it really fast. Because I think that's now in this level. I must have removed my dialog manager. There you go. See, I did. I knew that. Issue that we had right there. Did I? Error. That is good. That is good. We still don't have anything that works, but we have something that we want to use. So, what do we have in this dialog panel? We have a few different things here, right? So, what we have first of all is a dialog text. In this case, it just says new text. We have a continue icon that we don't see right now because it's not needed. And I don't think I had a sprite for that even yet. We have dialog choices, and in those dialog choices, it just says choice 0, choice 1, and choice 2. And those become something that you see right there. You can see them here. So choice 0 is actually, I don't know, visible. Don't even know what that was. Choice 0, choice 1. Okay, that's just not correctly placed, but it is things. So I think this third one is not correctly positioned, so it should be lower. With that, we can actually make something possible. So we have a portrait frame, and in the portrait frame, you have a portrait image, and it's at the moment just a question mark. We don't know who's saying what, so we don't care. And then we have a speaker frame, and the speaker frame is basically the part where the text will come. So this part of the thing. So it has a border. Actually, speaker frame is the entire thing. It has a border that is this little thing here around below it, and then display the name of the person. So this will be Gaia, or this will be Dad, or whoever is actually talking, right? And if we don't know, then we just say that it's question marks. We have no idea who this person is, so we don't want to say that yet. So I've set this up, and I have some dialogue that I have. So let me check in my managers again what is happening here in the dialogue panel. We still need my things to be in there, so let me collapse everything. These nice little things. So the dialog panel goes here, the dialog text goes there. Display name should be in the speaker, that's a display name text. And the portrait animator is an animator, and we have that somewhere in the animations, I think. Portraits, portrait animator, there you go. Should work. It just doesn't. But maybe it works from here then, I don't know. I had it somewhere. It's been a while, so bear with me, please. Portrait image, that has an animator on it. So I guess this one has to go to the... There we go. That should work. Okay. Now the thing is, there's also somewhere, and I don't remember where, we have an actual file that we're using for this. If I only knew where I did that, that would be super cool. So we have this story, which is the current story. And the current story is being, yeah, of course. This code is still old. I've used this like months ago. I started working on this, and there's a story that you're gonna play based on an IncJSON text file. And where the heck do I get that from? That's a parameter. Parameter. For dialogue mode, it instance. Probably in this one. Yep. Yeah, so you get what I did before. I had like a visual cue, so there's a place where you have to be to trigger our um, our dialogue manager. So something happens, and we have to actually start doing something. And then we get if interact has been pressed, and we start enter the dialogue mode, and otherwise we just enter the dialogue without anything else. If there's no visual cue configured. So for me, there's no visual cue always there because sometimes the story will just trigger because I'm at a certain place in my level and I just want to pop up a dialogue because I'm off screen, but I'm still talking to Gaia who's in the screen. So there's no visual indication of anything. I'm not talking to somebody that I see. I'm just there, and that triggers dialogue. So I can also do that later with if my player comes in a range of, for example, a building that she wants to talk about, I can trigger a dialogue for that. And that's the kind of thing that you want to do. So I think a lot of things that I did here were not good. So collider here is it's super nice to do, but I should not check for the game object name. I don't want it to be checking for that. What I want to do is the collider here should be compare tag and then put in player, right? Because that's what we usually do here. There. That should also work the same. The only is so that I could see that it's actually colliding with Gaia and not something else, right? And here also, I should do the compare tag instead, which is a little bit better. So I had a trigger somewhere. I don't remember where that was, but I just had something. If I walk there, then basically that triggers a dialogue. And for that, I might want to switch back one more time to the prototyping level. Even though I cannot see it, I should be able to say, for example, there's an NPC and it's me, Father of Gaia. I have a trigger. But for that, I need to know where the heck I am in the scene, right? I think what had happened here is that it doesn't render properly the URP settings. That's why everything is black. Or indeed because there's no global light. Most likely that's the reason. So I only don't understand why the main camera does have light and the other parts don't. Let's see, lighting. Lighting settings. That should be the basic demo settings, right? Well, at least now we have our dialogue thing. Dialogue panel of dialogue manager has not been assigned. Okay, we have something that we can work with, but I don't know if I want to spend too much time into this thing. I just have the trigger. So basically, I'm standing somewhere. There's my trigger, and my trigger has a box collider and a dialogue trigger script. So whatever I use, I can use it to trigger my dialogue. So my dialogue should usually not be visible. So my dialogue panel, I don't even understand why this is visible in the first place. It shouldn't be. But what I can imagine that this is not working because somewhere in the manager I didn't set anything properly. See, this is not working anymore. Must have changed something there. Just for reference, I also want to have this working again. So this was display name, and the portrait animator was on the portrait frame. I just had that before, but don't remember. Script, but variable choices. Okay. guys are still here because it's getting pretty quiet here. I'm talking a lot to myself. Feel a little bit sad. It's so sad if you're talking to yourself. Anyway, we have our dialogue system there. Ah, you're here. Ah, that's nice, unexpected. You were just listening in awe, most likely, or something like that. Then you have the choices, and the choices were somewhere here too, right? That was the dialogue choices. So let's put in 0, 1, and 2. Not that we're going to actually use these most likely, but we need to have them set so we don't get any errors here. So now we can see it, we can walk, there's no trigger for this, so this thing will always be on. I have to also see what actually triggers the dialog manager to be on, because by default this should be off. That kind of worries me, because I think it was off in the other scene if I saw it correctly. So what the heck did I do different to make it turn off? Because in the canvas, it doesn't say anything about that. Set properly, that's not a problem. Dialog panel. It's not like I have turned it off. Let's apply this so we have it everywhere. Kind of wondering what happened here. I will figure out one of these moments where, why on earth this background? It's so weird. So we have our NPC. There could be anything basically. So maybe what I want to do is put this. Just put my NPC or whatever, just a simple trigger that will trigger my dialogue. But still, I don't know why it's showing by default, because that it shouldn't. Do I have a script here? No script that turns it off by default. I do have an event system. That's not the reason. I have a grid. It's not the reason. Gaia. There's a highlight, but yeah, this highlight doesn't even work. Okay. Virtual camera is something that is wrong, I think. Anyway, I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to put too much time into this one. So let's just basically figure out why it's on by default. Just do the dialog trigger also. What does that do again? As if I have a visual cue or not. Set the file. That one sets the file. That's where I want it to be. So, before we have a trigger here, so let's zoom in a little bit. Well, a lot actually. Maybe we can also set a trigger, or maybe even use the trigger for the drawbridge. Why not? Let me add here a script. Actually can do it like this. The dialog trigger, boom, there we go. I have no visual cue and I don't want it, but I do want a file. And doesn't look like it like that. So let's go to this, maybe intro level, just put it in here. This one, I guess. There. Okay, so we have an intro level thing. We have our dialog trigger. So what happens? Through it anymore. That's because I get a script error. So it should go in, wants to go in, Why does this create an error? Because this story is not working. And why is this not working? Because it was working before. Why doesn't it know story? Cannot stand it when it doesn't work. Like I said, I was looking at this before and it said that something else was wrong, right? I did do the Inky package manager. Everything seems to work fine. They can be created, they can be compiled. The ink player tab works, etc., etc. Problem is, it just doesn't want to find it, but only in my scripts. The ink script files themselves seem to resolve the namespace fine. Sometimes fixes and assets open C# project from Unity. Let me try that. So you go to your assets and then we'll say guess I'm in play mode. I was not expecting open C# project. Let me see. Ctrl Shift B. Yeah, that doesn't work. So was another solution that the guy gave. That was unexpected. Yes. Removing the VS folder. Okay, then we do that. I don't care. I will do anything that works. Okay, yeah, Gaia repay. Let's go here. This is my project folder. And there should be a .vs folder, and there is none. There is nothing like that in here. There's an ID folder. Config. Weird how nothing else seemed to help, but at least that fixes it for now. Yeah, that's fun, but I don't have that. Okay, let me see what these guys say. Close Visual Studio. Okay, that's an easy fix. I can do that. Okay, now let's see. Maybe we just need to open it again. I've seen worse things. No, almost. I was hoping that would be it. That would be absolutely awesome. Just close it and just start it again. That didn't work. Okay, go to edit preferences, external tools, left part of the window. And then generate LCS project is checked. And editor attaching is checked. This is what we're trying to open. Hope this helps. Where this is stated, blah, blah, blah. No, but the IntelliSys is working fine. So that's not my issue. Ink, runtime, not recognized. Visual Studio 2022. Visual Studio Ink runtime not found. That was the same page. I don't have a .vs folder, or maybe it's hidden. Could be. Would be something, right? That is hidden. View. Show. Hidden items. There you go. You bastard. Okay, then I will have to close this. Yeah. something is still open. Come on. Where do I go? Because Visual Studio is open, maybe? Again. There we go. Okay. Refresh this thing. Be gone. Be gone! Why are you not gone? You're supposed to be gone. There we go. Now it's gone. Now let's see if we can still trigger a not wow wow wow, but actually a working solution. There we go. Boom. We don't need this anymore. This will load. You know, I'm hooked. I want to get this fixed. It's kind of a thing that I have when I get fixing. Should work. Was supposed to work. Yeah, you never had that before, did you? Ta-da! That works. Okay, will do. Glad for the constant reminders. If it wasn't for you, I would constantly forget this stuff. Okay, let's see. Oh, what's the object that is not set for an instance to an object? What it doesn't know. I may have not set the file. 87. 87. Oh, dialog manager. 87. So this one. Layout animator.play. I missed something, I guess. Should have a left and right, and maybe I didn't set it. It sort of works. We're almost there. We're almost there. What was that again? Because this is new for me also again. In the canvas, we have my dialog panel. We have the portrait frame. We have a speaker frame. Where was the left and the right thing then? Where was that? Because there's a way of setting it from left to right. So if one person talks, it's on the left. If the other person talks, it's on the right. Did it before. I know I did that. I just don't remember where I set that. But yeah, hey, it was a while. So I'm also not perfect. I don't know everything from the top of my head, but I know I did that. So that was an 87. So my layout animator is put somewhere, but it probably doesn't know my layout animator. So in my dialog panel, my get component is an animator. Dialog panel, get component animator, yeah, okay. Dialog panel selected is true, that's okay. It's really the layout animator play right, so I don't have a right. No, that's because I have father neutral or Gaia happy. That's what I have. So, father neutral. So this doesn't exist anymore. So the portrait animator default, yes, it exists. Father neutral, or let's say Gaia happy. And that should exist. So, no idea if this is the correct thing, but I do want to see if this works. Nope. Layout animator of dialog manager has not been assigned. So the layout animator of dialog manager has not been assigned. So where's my dialog manager and why is it not saying that? Because I just thought I set all those things up. Choices UI. I have a choices, but where the heck is my layout animator? I don't have a layout animator. Well, then it makes sense, right? If you don't have it, then you cannot put it. So my animator is there. I know I put my animator. Layout animator to play. Okay, layout animator is my animator, which is set to my dialog manager. My dialog manager has an animator that has a portrait image. It's been a while, so we have a layout tag, we have a portrait tag, we have a speaker tag. So my layout tag. So layout animators portrait image. So my portrait image animator does play Gaia happy, right? So what if I just do instead that one? However, this one is not known. So I have only one animator that I'm actually showing. So that is my portrait animator, which is here. That one I can set. So I think I can fix this by doing, where's my layout animator? There. Make it a serialized field, right? But then I have to set another animator, and that I don't know if I already did. Maybe it was just a concept I had in my mind, so I don't have any. You have to go, time for bed. Yeah, it's okay, I understand. I normally should go to bed as well, most likely, but I'm so into it right now. I want to have this fixed. I told you guys I was going to do positional audio. We fixed that, and now I'm looking at my dialogue, and I really want this. We will have a perfectly nice system set up for the people who are deaf also. So this is hopefully gonna at least, well, it might not fix it today, but then we have something to look at the next time, right? We do have a layout animator. There we go. So I'm gonna put this layout animator in here if I can. Work. Different thing. I will do my best to keep crushing. Uh, have a great evening too. We'll talk to you again probably tomorrow or some other day. Anyway, speaker frame, should that have a layer animation? Didn't implement this yet because I know I have a layout animator, right? That's correct. But where should I put that? I should put it on my dialog manager. I have that. It has that. The portrait frame is that thing. So let me see in the scene because I kind of am getting lost here. Here. So this layout thing should be on this entire thing. So is that the entire dialog panel? I guess so, right? Yes, because that has a layout animator. There we go. I figured it out. So this one should be there. Now that we have that, well, it was nice to chill in your stream, but sadly I have to go now. Have a wonderful stream again, though. That's okay. Half Moon, you are never late, nor are you early. It's always exactly time when you leave to go to bed. Perfectly fine. Thank you for being there, and I really hope you had a nice stream. You're also going easy, or it was yeah, no, it was just a reply to Half Moon, right? Anyway, we're getting there. We're getting there. I think we're getting very close at this. It works, but I don't see it here. I see it here though. I should have an interact button, and I never figured this out though. But this works, and this actually looks like something I would do. Right. So we got our dialogue thing there, sort of. Oh, there it is. It's because it's way too far out. Thing I want. I want it to be inside my view no matter what I do. So my dialog panel, I go here and I use Alt, I think it was. If I put it there, it should always be inside of my frame, right? But it doesn't work. What was the reason? Render mode. No. Scale with screen. There you go. Now we're getting somewhere. Right. That is what I wanted. So now we can scale this. It should be just like 1, right? That's where you usually should be. This is not like full screen. Okay, let me set this again. 1610. Can we say full HD? Why is the scale 0.45? I should have this like here or something. And then set it. It just changes the scale, which I don't like at all. Anyway, it's not really important for now. So we have something and it shouldn't load immediately, but it does. That we can turn off. And then we have, please don't wander off too far ahead, Gaia. I can't leave your brother behind. The interact button I have to still figure. It doesn't work, but we have our dialogue system set up. So now that is on the right, which I think I set somewhere. So we have our dialog panel with the controller, layout animator, and we can now, what I want to do is open up my Inky file of the intro level. Can I open that with ink? Because I had that before. Let me see where it was. Inky, there you go. Let's open up Inky. And let's open the assets, ink. No. This one that we're using. So now you also will see what I mean with how easy this is. So what I can say, and if you want to see this working in the dialog system, it's pretty easy. If I change the layout of this to not right, but left, watch what happens. Boom. My portrait is now on the left instead of on the right. Isn't that cool? I really find this very cool. that is the coolest part about having this inky thing in there. So you can just basically say who is talking. You use your code for that. So then you say this speaker is father. So in father, I have to do something. Portrait is my father neutral, and I can change the portrait. So I can also change it to a different image or even an animation. Layout is left. So what I do is say I want to have it as on the left. I can put it on the right, and I can also do the same with other characters in this script. So the thing is now I'm waiting for an interaction, and I think that the problem was that I do not know yet how to continue. So I was wondering about that. There's a continue option, continue story, get instance, get submit pressed. And I don't think I have submit set up yet in my Unity. Um, my animations, but where the heck was that again? This, I think, right? That's my input actions. So I have an interact. I have also a submit, but I have no clue what the submit does. So I have no binding on that, I think. So navigate, yes. So basically that's the reason that it doesn't work. So what I would expect in this case is submit would react to, it does have something, but it doesn't work. What I want is for the keyboard, in this case, blue, why don't I see anything happen? Keyboard, where are you going? Out of my frame, I don't think I see it. I'm gonna make my Unity a little smaller, if I can. Keyboard and mouse. Using control scheme, keyboard, mouse. I should be able to say keyboard and then just go somewhere, but it doesn't go. I don't get another extra menu here. I'm supposed to be able to do that, right? Anyway, why can't I just set this? Okay, let's delete this. This is player, and that is UI. Player also. Here is a submit. What does this do? Space. That is totally illogical. I should not do that. I don't want space for that. Something is either out of my frame or I just don't see it because I cannot enter. Let's put it on enter. Normally you should be able to do it a little easier, but it makes sense that it wasn't working, at least with it being on the space bar, because I don't want to use the space bar for that. Let me check. So enter. Nope, doesn't work. That's the thing that I don't understand sometimes about the input system that is here. Is input manager get instance get submit pressed? That doesn't work. So it could be that I didn't put it in the input manager yet. Fallback context, jump pressed, interact pressed, submit pressed true. Let me just start with a simple debug.log pressed submit. See if that actually does anything. If we get here or not, I have no clue. And at the moment, it just makes no sense because we just don't see anything happening. It's okay. Let's play. Press submit. So it does work. It does something. That's good though. So we have this done. Submit pressed is true. Okay. That should all be all that I use. Right? Interact pressed. Jump pressed, that works. Move pressed works. Interact pressed. I have no clue which one is interact, but that should also work. So why Doesn't it continue my story? Does it even get here? Well, I can move that. Like from the input, we have this removed, so we don't have to. Let me see if we get here. Debug.log. Let's continue the story. Okay, I have to go off the stream. Bye forever. Also, good luck working on the dialogue system. Thank you, AZ. I'm pretty sure we'll get it working. It's just a little things that bother me. So. Okay, it doesn't get there, which I find weird, but let me figure that out. Okay, so it did get there. So is the context not performed, maybe? Okay, let me check. Performed. Okay, let's try it. It doesn't get there. So why doesn't it get to the context without performed? Well, considering the time, it's 10:30. I think this is going to be something I'm going to figure out another day. What I will do though is check if there's anyone that we can raid. So let me go to Twitch. See who's right there. There's a couple of people that are nice to have a look at. I think maybe today, let's go over to Irish John. It will be nice. Irish John games. I think you guys will also like his stream. If you don't know him yet, you will definitely get to know him. And he's very, very friendly. Making a very, very beautiful, big game right now. First time. So please join me in rating him. And thank you for being in my stream today. It was very nice to have you guys.